Are you in the mood for some solo horror gaming goodness? Well, good news. Because we're about to go over Whispers in the Walls, 2nd edition. And we're going to talk about the book a little bit very briefly. And then I'm going to have a dramatization, if you will, of my first playthrough. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Sacred, and this is the Sacred Art of Gaming, where we love exploring everything that tabletop gaming has to offer us, especially when it comes to solo gaming. Now, today I want to talk about Whispers in the Walls. What a pleasant surprise. I don't know if you asked me like a month ago, hey Sacred, do you think you'll do like some type of walkthrough specifically on Whispers in the Walls? I don't know if I would have said yes. Having played it though, I really enjoyed it, especially compared to some games that are similar. So let's jump right into it. First of all, like, you open the book and that's great. I love that. I want to really get into the intro here. They do break down the table of contents. I don't know that the top-down camera is necessary for this, because I feel like it'll be brief. But the playtime really spoke to me. 15 to 60 minutes, that is very reasonable in my humble opinion. I'm not someone who's gonna be playing like journaling games for hours, weeks, months. I wanna do something else. But a bite-sized adventure like this, I really enjoyed. Now, we have the intro. If the walls could talk, they always said, but you know better. You're essentially a private investigator with a unique talent for teasing out mysteries and piecing together their meanings. It's a solo journaling RPG about the knowledge of the walls. You play it by yourself in the dark. You're going to be using a deck of cards, so you actually don't even need dice. But you can use dice, because I foolishly did not use these oracles that are in the back. I love oracles, and I just did not notice that they were there. So let's dive right in. If the walls could talk, they always said, but you know better. You're a private investigator with a unique talent of teasing out the mysteries and piecing together their meanings, which is exactly what you're going to do in this game. This isn't a game where you're necessarily trying to like fight for survival like you would in Final Girl. This is more so like you go to a weird place and you figure out why the place is so weird, which I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. More than I would have thought. There is a safety thing here, which normally I feel kind of conflicted on with solo games, but if for nothing else, for the dramatization, just in case that bothers you, I'm gonna go over it so you know for the dramatization. So this is a horror game that has gruesome depictions, body horror, infestation, and asks you to imagine scenes of abuse. If at any time a selection becomes overwhelming, take a break, discard the current card, or walk away from the game. Your safety is more important. So I didn't take anything out. I wanted the full experience. So for the reenactment, if it's too much, back out. All right, so you're going to start with constructing the Whispers deck, and to do that, you are going to take a deck of cards and remove the jokers and spades and put them into their own deck. For more difficulty, you can manipulate this, of course. You're going to shuffle the jokers and the spades together to create the Hollows deck, and shuffle the rest of the cards to create the Secrets deck. So you're going to draw 3 cards from the Hollows deck and 6 from the Secrets deck without looking, shuffling them together. This is going to be known as the Whispers deck, from which you will draw. The Hollows and Secrets decks can now be removed from the game. This is going to leave you with 9 cards. The first one is going to be for your location. The next 7 will be the story, and then the final one will be your ending. So that's very reasonable. And from there, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to draw a card, and that card will give you prompts, and you read those prompts, and you're going to combine what you know of the location with the prompt and the questions that it's asking you, and you're going to journal about it. You don't gotta go crazy, but you can if you want to. One of my favorite parts about this game is how replayable I feel like it's going to be, because you have all these different locations. You have quite a few, I'm not gonna count them, however many there are in a different types in a deck of cards, right? Because it goes from ace to joker, king, etc. For me, I ended up with number 6, the Midwestern Farmhouse. And it'll give you like a little rundown, and then it'll ask you some questions. And then you make a story out of it, and I enjoyed it because of its length, and I enjoyed it because it was weird. I feel like the next time I play it, I might have a better understanding, and I might have a better idea as to like how to formulate it. Formulate may not be the correct word there. How to form everything in a better way that makes it make more sense towards the end. Because in my situation, I'm like in the Midwest, but there ended up being, I took like the water route because of water coming in through the walls and stuff. So, and you have multiple, like you can go to a rural hospital, a mausoleum, carriage house, sailboat, old opera house, train car, etc. And then each one of the suits have their own like theme to them. So hearts is going to be the walls. I like the art there. Diamonds are going to be the floors. Clubs are the overhead. And spades are the hollows. And then I believe jokers have their own thing. Yes. Jokers are the dead. And there's certain rules for the order in which you draw those. You've got your back here for your investigation report. Of course, I didn't write in it because that just feels like madness to me. And yeah, don't forget about those tables in the back, because I just made something up. I think I would have preferred if I rolled on the tables. I'll do that next time. And they give some other solo role-playing games that they enjoy. I always love when they do that. Alright. So, this is Whispers in the Walls, a solo horror journaling game by Pandian Games. Now we're going to get into the dramatization, if you will. If things that are potentially scary could bother you, feel free to back out now. I'm not gonna say I'm like a master storyteller that's gonna make this super scary story, but be forewarned. I didn't pull any punches. If anything, I may have leaned into them. If that's the case, it's been a joy to have you. I'm Sacred. This is the Sacred Art of Gaming. If you've liked the video, feel free to like. If you want to see more content like this or less scary, subscribe. Let's go! Whispers in the Wall, 2nd edition, Midwestern Farmhouse. My name's Zach Wheeler. I'm a private investigator who found himself at a farmhouse in the rural Midwest. The wind never stops and the dead pine trees surround the property. Inside, the linoleum is streaked, the windows are cracked, and the furniture looks 100 years old, but it looks like it'll last another 100 years. There's cornfields for as far as the eye can see, but inside, there's a strange room where an in-depth investigation takes place. It's as though I've walked into the middle of somebody else's job. Stored here are hundreds of photos, newspapers, audio, and videotapes. First prompt: King of Diamonds. Anger and malice, a punching rhythm from the floor beats against your chest. Your eardrums pop as it bounces you slightly into the air. You walk around the room. Sometimes it slows, other times it speeds up, until finally is a rapid, hectic drone of pounding. You place your hand in front of you, touching something, and the floor falls silent. It's as though the room has directed me to a very specific photo that was professionally taken. It's damaged as if it was on fire. It's a middle-aged woman with a look on her face that looks through you, as if she doesn't even know that you're there. Second prompt, 8 of spades. The walls fall away suddenly and with a splash. Detritus floats by. Detritus. Detritus. Is that a condition? I don't know. I'm breaking the mood. I'm sorry. The floor is a mere raft, with the open ocean in all directions. A piece of refuse bumps into your raft, and you nearly lose balance as you check on it. You see your reflection, no longer yourself. As I look in the reflection of the water, I see the face of the woman from the photo. She looks back at me, and it's almost as though she's smiling, but her mouth doesn't move. Her face, she looks almost disappointed or frustrated. More debris from a shipwreck bumps into my raft, with people desperately holding on for life. Next prompt, Jack of clubs. A scraping sound pierces your ears and you feel taller for some reason. No, the ceiling is falling towards you. It consumes the walls until you lay flat on the ground. Shattered pieces of furniture poke at your skin. The ceiling stops at the tip of your nose. You look around for what it wants you to see from this vantage point, and you spot something hidden along the floor, out of sight. On the floor, I see it. It's an ornate ring with a ruby in it. When the ceiling rises back up, water drips from the walls like there's a leak within the room itself, but I know damn well I'm on dry land. Next prompt, 9 of diamonds. 20,000 if you could count them. The small, dead gnats that have collected in the unseen places of the ground jitter and shake out of their burials. They twist and writhe to spell a single necrotic palindrome. So strange, all these small flies, they all just kind of hit the ground at the same time. It spells out a word that says the same thing. If you're looking at it forwards or backwards, and that word is madam. Next prompt, 2 of spades. The sounds of strained, gurgled breaths radiate from the walls before they split open to reveal a writhing mass of flesh. Boils and wounds cover its shapeless form. It shoots out and consumes you in a nauseating hug and pulls you into a nightmarish abyss of the unfathomable. Your mind is invaded by a disjointed scene that is difficult to fathom. Yet it wasn't these nightmares that performed the act, but people. People on the ship performing occult rituals by mutilating others on the ship and throwing them into the ocean. A creature that I can really only attempt to describe by calling it a leviathan from the bottom of the ocean begins to devour some while capturing others marked by the twisted cult. Ace of clubs. The ceiling shifts, molds itself, and rumbles like crashing waves against the walls. Dust falls in great clouds around you and darken your vision even more. Their shapes in the dust, being made by the rhythmic undulation above. They move and float around you like a zoetrope animation. Eye, moon, whirlpool, teeth. 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 The rings rapidly move until memories form of the cult planning to have certain people on the ship, and the woman orchestrates it all. But it did not go as planned, did it? 6 of hearts. A single wall flutters like paper, thin and wet. The edges peel away, and behind are glowing embers of raw memory floating in an expanse. Some sob, others laugh, but one glows brighter than the rest. A tight, controlled sigh of frustration emanates from it, and it's pushed towards you. You reach out and touch it, and a pain burns through your fingers as it enters your mind. An old, half-burned movie reel plays a faded memory of an unhappy time. It's the captain. It's the captain of the ship. He sighs when he realizes that he was manipulated for the cult's foul deeds. knowing what he must do. He turns the ship. Turns the ship so that the ship impales the Leviathan as it begins to scream. A scream like it's as though it's not making noise, but I hear it louder than I've heard anything in my life. It's in pain. The final card. Joker. You aren't afraid of the walls. They want their story told. But the dead hold grudges and fear and shame. You need out. The dead isn't done with you, though. It protrudes and becomes real. The heinous form a bloated version of its former self. It speaks. A grotesque amalgamation of human body parts roughly in the shape of a large crab emerges, and the ship's captain face emerges from one of its claws. This farmhouse is where Madame created this cult based on her visions as a child, having never seen the ocean. Various descendants came to this place, each building off of the progress of the last, but each one swallowed by the abyssal maw of torment that is trapped here. Longing for the sea and returning to its fellow Leviathans, overcome with the motion I hadn't thought myself capable of, I asked the obvious question. If I return you, can I leave this place? The corpses on the crab-like abomination scream in pain as they chitter a response in unison. Yes! 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 Trying to keep my calm, I ask how. The red ruby ring from the floor floats up. Swallow, 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 swallow. The corpses on the crab-like being whisper in a way that feels like they're screaming but also in pain. I take the ring. I swallow it. Suddenly I feel every emotion and every thought of 1,000 unique people all at once. All of their pains, all of their sufferings, but all of their joys. The room returns to normal, and I feel compelled to begin walking in one direction, in a straight line, towards the Pacific Ocean. Without stopping, eating, sleeping, or drinking, I walk right out into the ocean, never to be seen in this form again. So that was my experience with Whispers in the Walls. Hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully it wasn't too weird. And like I said, there was kind of a weird, everything was pointing towards water despite I'm in a Midwestern farmhouse, so there's a little bit of that, but I feel like I was able to make it work. I feel like you would be able to make it work as well. And you could honestly get those same exact prompts and tell a completely different story, and that's the beauty of it. And that's only one location, right? So I could replay this 11 more times or more, and the story could be very different. And I dig that because it's like bite-sized adventures. So it's not too much. I'm not like tired from it. I enjoyed it for the time that I spent with it, and I look forward to playing it again. So, if you enjoyed this video, consider slapping a like on this bad boy. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, perhaps consider subscribing. All right, my fellow DICE disciples, I'll see you on the next one as we continue to explore the sacred art of gaming together.